All right, good afternoon, everyone. Court will resume with the August 24th, 2022 docket. And I have Mr. Rogelio Garza here, attorney, who represents James Guerrero. And there's, I believe, 3 cases with James Guerrero here. CR 2205-088D, 089D, and CR 2207-923D, all of them state of Texas versus James Guerrero. All right, good afternoon, Jill. Do you have James Guerrero? I think he came from Brooks County. Oh, there he is. Is that him? All right, James Guerrero. And I think we have an announcement, right, State?
Yes, Judge, defense counsel and I came to an agreement for a personal recognizance fund. The motion has been signed and sent back to defense counsel.
Okay, I understand. Of the 3 cases, one already has a PR bond. We'll leave that alone. The ones I think the agreement is on CR 2205-088D and 89D. And I believe it's $1,000 PR bond, right?
Yes, Judge.
All right, that's the agreement, Mr. Garza?
That's what I was requesting, Judge, and that way he's got 2 felonies also, and he's got PR bonds, so he'll be able to get out. And I have the discovery, so I'll be getting together with Ms. Cantu so we can get a plea date, Judge.
Okay, let me give you a pretrial date for all 3 cases. Pretrial date, February the 2nd, 9 o'clock. February the 2nd, 9 o'clock. However, if you need us to bump it up because you took care of the felony case, let the court know, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
But for right now, February the 2nd, 9 o'clock for all 3 cases.
Thank you. May I be
Oh,
excused?
yes, sir, you may be excused and James Guerrero can be excused. He's got PR bonds. Thank you. Have a good day.
Maybe next time I learn how to do the Zoom.
Don't worry about it. We're about to get off already.
Thank you, and you and your staff. Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Mr.
Thank you.
Solis, number 15.
That'll
Juan
be
Bernal.
number 15. Let me look at number 15 here. That'll be Juan Martin
Is that going to be a plea?
Bernal. Let me see here, number 15. All right, let me get it here. It's a jail case, right? What's going to happen in your case, Mr. Solis?
Judge, he signed up, Judge.
Signed up for a plea?
Yes,
Will he need interpreting?
yes, Judge. He does need the services of an interpreter, Judge.
Levanta tu mano, Juan.
You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Juras que el testimonio que vas a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad? The truth.
Okay. Cause number CR 2207-855D, Juan Martin Bernal. You're charged DWI Class A misdemeanor. It carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Juan, en el caso tuyo, CR 2207-855D, el estado de Texas contra Juan Martín Bernal, te acusan de andar manejando en el estado de embriaguez, que es una clase A. Bajo la ley es no más de una multa de $4,000 y no más de 1 año en la cárcel. La pregunta del juez es, ¿comprendes eso, sí o no?
Me hago culpable.
¿Comprendes eso, sí o no?
No, no lo comprendo porque me dijeron que ya nomás me declararon culpable. Y ya estaba libre.
Esto es el caso que te acusan es una clase A. Pon atención. Es una clase A. Bajo la ley es no más de una multa de $4,000 y no más de 1 año en la cárcel. Esa es una clase A. ¿Comprendes eso, sí o no?
No lo comprendo porque el abogado me dijo que iba a estar aquí. No comprendo.
Judge, may I talk to him real quick?
Sure.
Nothing private. Juan, aquí estoy.
Ok.
Te van a hacer unas preguntas antes de tomarte lo de la culpabilidad. ¿Me entiendes? Nada
Sí.
más contesta lo que se te pregunte. Todo está bien como lo habíamos hablado.
Ok.
Ok.
La pregunta es, ¿comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí, comprendo.
Yes, I understand.
You understand you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. And that you waived those 2 rights?
Comprendes que tienes el derecho de que un jurado oiga tu caso. También tienes el derecho de apelar. ¿Es correcto que tú has rechazado esos 2 derechos?
Sí.
Yes.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
¿Alguna vez te han declarado que estés mentalmente incompetente?
No.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation after you give a plea?
Y comprendes tú que la corte no tiene que seguir la recomendación después de que tú te declares culpable. ¿Comprendes eso, sí o
Sí,
no?
comprendo. Sí, comprendo.
Yes, I understand.
You understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that you plead guilty in your case may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under federal
Y
law.
también comprendes que si te declaras culpable y no eres ciudadano de este país, eso puede resultar en deportación, exclusión o que te nieguen la entrada a este país bajo leyes federales. ¿Comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
And was that explained to you by your attorney?
¿Y eso se te explicó a ti por tu abogado?
Sí.
¿Sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
And how do you plead, sir, guilty or not
¿Y
guilty?
cómo te declaras? ¿Culpable o no culpable?
Culpable.
Guilty.
Culpable.
And,
Guilty.
and are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
¿Y te estás declarando culpable libre y voluntariamente?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, state.
State offers plea documents and offense reports as States Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as States Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures as States Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk and needs assessment as States Exhibit 4. The state also requests that defense counsel stipulate the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. The state further requests that defense counsel stipulate that all evidence which has been e-filed is sufficient to corroborate today's plea of guilty.
We have no objection, Judge, and we so stipulate.
And without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court that Juan Martin Bernal is guilty as charged. Now, recommendation, state.
In consideration of the defendant's I-told, the state's recommendation is a $100 fine, or it costs 30 days in Hidalgo County Jail with credit for time served, which is 20 days.
Judge, respectfully, Judge, we're gonna be asking for the court if can sentence him to a time served, Judge. Just to give the court some information about Mr. Bernal, Judge. He does have one prior removal from the United States, Judge. There is a small likelihood that he may be transferred to federal court. Additionally, Judge, I believe there's an ICE detainer. He has been visited by ICE already, so I know ICE is expecting him. Looking at his past, Judge, there's a high expectation that he will be deported, Judge. So for those reasons, Judge, we're respectfully asking for a sentence of time served, Judge.
Okay, and I was gonna ask that question. Does he have an ICE hold? And I think he does. All right. Okay, no fine, no court cost, 21 days in jail, credit for 21, time served.
Juan, te quitó la multa y los costos de corte, te va a dar tiempo servido. Tú ya has servido 21 días, te va a dar crédito por 21 días y este caso ya se arregla. Suerte.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Judge, may I be excused?
Yes, you may be excused. Have a good day. Thank you.
Nice seeing you again, Judge.
Nice seeing you again, huh?
Miss Tracy Evans has
Tracy
Brian
Evans.
Reina.
Yes, number 12.
11
Brian,
and 12.
11, 12?
Brian Reagan.
And number
Yeah, Brian Reina.
number one.
Number 1, number 10,
11
number
and
11 and 12.
Oh, okay. Wow, okay. Number 1,
Number 10,
10.
11 and 12.
Okay, 1, 10. There you go.
Are they all gonna be the same?
Yeah, state, are all 4 of them going to be a plea?
3 of them are pleas, Judge. Number 12, the interference emergency request will be a dismissal.
All right, that's correct. I have here possible dismissal on number 12. Correct. Okay. All right, Brian, let's see, Brian Salazar Reina. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, you may put your hand down. You have 4 cases, but you're gonna plea only to 3 of them because the 4th one is gonna get dismissed. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First one, CR 2011-405D, Brian Reina, criminal mischief, Class B misdemeanor. CR 2206-140D, assault, Class A misdemeanor. And then, okay, skip one. Number 2.
Number 10.
Number 10. And then CR 2206-139D, Brian Reina, terroristic threat, Class A misdemeanor. 1 Class B, 2 Class A's. On the Class B, the potential penalty can be up to 180 days in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. On each of the Class A cases, each case carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that for all 3 cases, you're entitled to a jury trial, you're entitled to an appeal, and that you weighed those 2 rights?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, sir.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendations after you give a plea?
Yes, sir.
And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, sir.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily on all
Yes.
3 cases?
Yes.
All right. State.
State offers plea documents and offense reports at States Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal at States Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures at States Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk and use assessment at States Exhibit 4. The state also requests that defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. The state further requests that defense counsel stipulate that all evidence which has been e-filed is sufficient to corroborate today's plea of guilty.
No objection to the exhibit, Your Honor, so agreed and stipulated.
And without objection, so admitted. It will be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged on all three cause numbers. Recommendations, do they have to be identical, state?
No, Judge, they're not.
Okay, the first one, CR 20-11-405D.
The state's recommendation is a $100 fine. Court costs 180 days prohibited for 1 year, and restitution due and owing in the amount of $640 to Aguilar Auto Sales.
Okay, is this going to be a probation case or a straight sentence?
This will be a probation case, Judge.
Okay, $100 fine plus court costs 180 over 1 year, and then restitution,
Yes, and it was a $100 fine, Judge.
$100 fine. Okay, and 640 restitution, right?
Yes.
To Aguilar Sales,
Auto sales.
Auto Sales. All right, let me hear the other ones, and then we'll go from there. We'll come back to this one. CR 22-06-139D.
The state's recommendation is a $100 fine. Court costs 50 days in Hidalgo County Jail with credit for 50 days.
50 for 50.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, waive the fine and court cost. This will be a time served. And now the third case, CR 22-06-140D.
The state's recommendation is a $100 fine. Court costs 1 year probated for 14 months. Anger management course, 30 community service hours, and the defendant must have no harmful contact with the victim, Savannah Reina.
Savannah Reina.
Yes, Judge.
No harmful contact with Savannah Reina. Okay, let's go back to the first case on CR 20-11-405D. No fine, no court costs, no fees. To run concurrent with this one, CR 22-06-140D. On this one as well, no fine, no court costs. But it'll be the 14 months probation, anger management, no community hours, no harmful contact with Savannah Reina. Did I get that correct, Ms. Evans?
Yes, Judge, the only request we have is he is a truck driver, if he can just be allowed to leave the county, Judge.
Yeah, that'll be waived. I think it's paragraph 7 or 8.
7, yes, Your Honor.
7, that'll be waived, okay? And in the fourth case, state.
The state has filed a motion to dismiss on CR 22-06-141D in agreement with the plea in CR 22-06-140D.
All right, court will grant the state's motion to dismiss in CR 22-06-141D, State versus Brian Reina. This case is hereby dismissed. All right, good luck with your probation, Mr. Reina. You're excused, okay?
Thank you,
Thank you,
Judge.
Judge.
Thank you.
That's all I
Thank you.
have. Maybe excuse as well.
Yes, ma'am. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, you too.
Mr. Joe Bravo, he has Margarito Vargas, number 6,
Vargas, Margarito.
number 13, and number 14.
Okay, 6,
13 and 14.
13, and 14. All right. There's 3 cases, and is it going to be a plea on all 3 of them?
Yes, Judge, and number 6 is an open plea.
Okay, 6, 13, and 14. All right, ready, Mr. Bravo?
We are ready.
All right. Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. 3 cases here, Mr. Vargas. Here they are. CR 22-03-557D, Margarito Vargas Jr., terroristic threat, Class B misdemeanor. CR 22-06-721D, theft, Class B misdemeanor. And the last one is a Class A assault, CR 22-06-997D. On the Class Bs, the potential penalty can be up to a year in jail. I'm sorry, up to 180 days in jail, and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. And on the Class A, the potential penalty can be up to a year in jail, and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that for each case, you're entitled to a jury trial, you're entitled to an appeal, and that you waive those 2 rights.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, sir.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendations after you give a plea?
Yes, sir.
And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily for all 3 cases?
Yes, sir.
All right, state.
State offers plea documents and offense reports at State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures as State's Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk and needs assessment as State's Exhibit 4. The state also requests that defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. The state further requests that defense counsel stipulate that all evidence which has been e-filed is sufficient to corroborate state's plea of guilty.
No objection, Your Honor.
Without objection, so admitted. It will be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged on all three cause numbers. Recommendations. Let's start with CR 22-03-550-70.
The state's recommendation is the $300 fine. Court costs 1 year probated for 20 months, an anger management course, 30 community service hours, and the defendant must stay away from the victim, Daniel Hernandez.
Daniel Hernandez.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, let me hear the other recommendations. I'll come back to this one. Let's do CR 22-06-721.
The state's recommendation is a $100 fine. Court costs 37 days in Hidalgo County Jail with credit for 37 days.
Waive the fine and court costs on this one because of the time in jail. It'll be a time served. And then to run concurrent with CR 22-06-990-70.
It'll be the same recommendation, Judge, a $100 fine. Court costs 37 days in Hidalgo County Jail with credit for 37 days.
Also waive the fine and court costs because of the time in jail. Therefore, it'll be a time served, 37 for 37. So let me go to the first one here, and that is CR 22-03-550-70. On this one, let me see here, waive the community hours. And then stay away from Daniel, no harmful contact with Daniel Hernandez. And on the fine, we can reduce that to $100 plus court costs. Mr. Blau?
Judge, and that was going to be an open plea. I've already spoken and reviewed the somewhat limited discovery with Mr. Vargas. Judge, this was a terroristic threat that Mr. Vargas had been arrested on, I believe, back in June.
Okay.
He stayed a total of 7 days, Your Honor. He was released on bond. I believe there had been an emergency protective order, and that had already expired. And later on, he did pick up the other two assault and theft, which were different individuals.
Okay.
On this case, Judge, it was another male. He does not know who that person was.
They don't live together.
Yeah, they don't live together. They're not family members or relatives or anything like that. And
Okay.
so we're asking the court to consider a time served on that. Mr. Vargas is homeless, Your Honor. So it would be that much harder for him to be able to report to probation every month. As well as being, it's unrealistic for him to be able to complete the other conditions of probation, Your Honor.
All right, and I understand the protective order that came out of this case already expired.
Yeah, I believe it was an emergency protective order, Judge. It had already expired. And so while he was out on bond, there was no other violation.
Okay. All right, no fine, no court costs. I have here 8 days in jail, credit for 8. No fine, no court costs. 8 for 8, that'll be a time served. All right, Mr. Vargas, time served for all 3 cases. You're excused. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, sir. God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. That it, Mr. Bravo?
That's all I have, Judge. Maybe excuse.
All right, you're excused. Thank you. Have a good day.
Mr. Garza
Thank you.
has Federico Franco,
Uh-huh.
number 2,
Federico.
number 4, number
1,
5,
2, 3, 4.
and number 18.
A total of 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 5 cases?
Yes, Judge, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
The last time we were here, I informed you that he was going to take those pleas and we had to get him signed up. We
Okay.
just got him signed up a few minutes ago on Zoom. So they had to get that paperwork back to me. I had to sign it and get it to Ms. Cantu. So if we could have another setting, short setting.
No, I think we can do the plea, right? I think we can do the plea right now and the paperwork can be done later.
Okay.
Afterwards.
Great, let's do
We
it.
can do the plea. Yeah, we can do that. All right, so his name is Federico Franco Jr., right? I understand 5 cases, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's look at the 5th one here. And state, is it gonna be a plea in all of them?
Judge, it's going to be a plea to 1, 2, 3, 4, a dismissal on CR 21-02-0090. And
That's it. That's correct.
The 90, let me look for that 90. That'll be the dismissal. Which one is it?
2009, Judge.
Or number 2,
Okay, that'll be the dismissal.
number 2.
All right, I got it. That'll be the dismissal. All right, but otherwise a plea in all the other ones, right?
Yes, sir.
Which once again, now there are 4. Okay. Okay, please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
You may put your hand down. 4 cases here, Mr. Franco, that you're going to be pleading to. CR 21-02-010D, theft, Class B, misdemeanor. CR 21-05-464D, theft, Class B, misdemeanor. CR 22-07-871D, theft, Class B, misdemeanor. Did I get them all correct? Excuse me. CR 21-05-465D, theft, Class B, misdemeanor. So all 4 cases are Class B misdemeanors. Each of them carry a potential penalty of up to 180 days in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
And you understand that for each case, you're entitled to a jury trial, you're entitled to an appeal, and that you waived those 2 rights?
I did. Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
Negative, sir.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendations after you give your plea?
I do understand.
Right. And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, sir.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily on all 4 cases?
That is correct, sir.
All right, state.
State offers plea documents and offense reports as states Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as states Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures as states Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk any defendant as states Exhibit 4. The state also requests that defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. The state further requests that defense counsel stipulate that all evidence which has been e-filed is sufficient to corroborate today's plea of guilty.
No objection, so stipulated.
Without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged on all 4 cases. Recommendations, ma'am, are they identical by any chance?
No, Judge.
Okay, CR 21-02-010D.
The state's recommendation is a $100 fine, court costs 19 days, Hidalgo County Jail with credit for 19 days.
All right, on this one, waive the fine and court costs, time served. CR 21-05-464D.
The state's recommendation is a $100 fine, court costs 18 days in Hidalgo County Jail with credit for 18 days.
18 for 18 minus the waive the fine and court costs. That'll be a time served. CR 21-05-465D.
The state's recommendation is a $100 fine, court costs 18 days in Hidalgo County Jail with credit for 18 days.
Also waive the fine and court costs because of the time in jail. Therefore, 18 for 18, time served. And then CR 22-07-871D. Yes, ma'am.
The state's recommendation is a $100 fine, court costs 180 days, probated for 6 months, a theft education course, 30 community service hours, and open restitution to the victim Federico Franco III.
Federico Franco III. Did you say restitution hearing?
Yes, Judge, please.
Restitution. Let me get you a date. September 12th. September 12th, 3 p.m. September 12th, 3 p.m. to find out if there's restitution or not. And meanwhile, on this one, waive the fine and court costs and no community hours. He'll be on 6 months probation and of course the theft courses. And then we'll come back on September 12th to see if it's in your restitution or not. Meanwhile, it's time served on all the other 3. And I believe there's another case, right, State?
Yes, Judge, the state has filed a motion to dismiss on CR 21-02-009D. That's a theft class B.
Court will hereby grant state's motion to dismiss in CR 21-02-009D, State versus Federico Franco Jr. This case is hereby dismissed.
Very
Did
good.
you understand that, Mr. Garza? Everything came out okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're excused. We're coming back on we're coming back on September the 12th, right? 3 p.m. Yeah, make sure this afternoon you submit all the paperwork, okay, sir?
They should get it to us today and we'll submit it as soon as we get it.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Franco. You're excused. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Ms.
All right,
Gutierrez
thank you.
has Number 9, Eric Perez, open to.
Number 9. Miss Gutierrez.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. You have Eric Perez, right?
Torres, I believe.
Eric
Perez
Torres.
Yes.
Yeah, I have Eric Torres Perez.
Torres.
So-
Your Honor,
Yes.
He's a Spanish speaker. It will not be a plea this afternoon because we still don't have discovery. So I'm asking the court to set a short setting on a motion to suppress, and I'll file that motion this afternoon.
So it'll be an MTS?
Yes.
MTS, no more plea.
Well, I don't have discovery, so I think that the way to move this along would be to ask for suppression.
Okay, how do we?
We can reset it for next week to see if they have discovery,
Okay.
because we need to give the state at least
What's
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks, right?
notice.
It'll
Yeah,
be 3
so,
weeks if it's gonna be an MTS.
Yeah, we'll reset it for next Wednesday when we have Joe case.
Next Wednesday, and we'll take up another announcement or a plea, okay?
Very well, Your Honor.
Let me do
And
that
just,
next week.
just for the
Yeah.
record, we have made contact with the trooper. He is going to get back to me in regards to the offense report that is pending.
How many
Office
days?
report that's pending.
For how many days?
I shouldn't say. just
You-
pending.
It's still pending, the office report?
I'm
Officer
waiting to hear
report?
back from the trooper.
Okay, you wanna say also for Wednesday anyway?
Yeah, we'll reset for Joe case for Wednesday.
Give me a date.
The
Next
31st.
Wednesday, next Wednesday is what, 8:31st?
Yes,
What time?
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Okay, Ms. Gutierrez, August 31st, 2 p.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
for Eric Torres Perez, CR 2206-119D. You're welcome. Have a good day, man.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, case reset, Mr. Torres, for 8:31, 2 p.m. Okay? Thank you. Maybe excuse.
Mr. Ted Lopez.
Tetlow, T,
has Francisco Guerrero,
Guerrero Francisco.
number 16.
number 16, Francisco Guerrero. Is that the last one? Only one?
He has one.
Only one, right?
Yes, Judge. Good afternoon. It's one plea, Judge, plea to the court, and I submitted the paperwork a few minutes before 2 o'clock, Judge.
Okay, and does he need interpreting?
He does need, that was my next announcement. Judge.
He does need.
Francisco, levanta tu
Yes.
mano derecha.
You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Juras que el testimonio que vas a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Lo juro.
I swear.
All right.
Puedes bajar tu mano.
CR 2207-857D, Francisco Javier Guerrero. Your charge here is Class A misdemeanor, DWI. It carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Francisco, en el caso tuyo, CR 2207857D, el estado de Texas contra Francisco Javier Guerrero, te acusan de una clase A. Bajo la ley es no más de una multa de $4,000 y no más de 1 año en la cárcel. La pregunta del juez es, ¿comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial, you're entitled to an appeal, and that you waived those two rights?
Comprendes que tienes el derecho de que un jurado oiga tu caso, también tienes el derecho de apelar, pero es correcto que tú has rechazado esos 2 derechos, ¿sí o no?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
¿Alguna vez te han declarado que estés mentalmente incompetente?
No.
No.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation after you give a plea?
Y comprendes tú que la corte no tiene que seguir la recomendación después de que tú te declares culpable. ¿Comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí, comprendo.
Yes, I understand.
And you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that you plead guilty in your case may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to his country, or the denial of naturalization under federal law?
Y comprendes tú que si tú no eres ciudadano de este país y te declaras culpable, eso puede resultar en deportación, exclusión o que te nieguen la entrada a este país bajo leyes federales. ¿Comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí, comprendo.
Yes, I understand.
And was that explained to you by your attorney?
¿Y eso se te explicó a ti por tu abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, state.
State offers plea documents and offense reports at State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal at State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures at State's Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk and needs assessment at State's Exhibit 4. The state also requests that defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. The state further requests that defense counsel stipulate that all evidence which has been e-filed is sufficient to corroborate the state's plea of guilty.
No objections to the exhibits offered. We stipulate to venue jurisdiction, and we also stipulate that these documents will corroborate the plea of guilty, Judge.
And without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged. And a recommendation state?
The state's recommendation is a $100 fine, court costs 1 year probated for 1 year, offenders program, 3 days in Hidalgo County Jail, a mobile alcohol monitoring device for 9 months, an alcohol class, MAD impact panel, and 180 days Texas driver's license suspension.
180 suspension, right? And I'm sorry, $100 fine plus court costs, and then 1 year over 18
1 year,
months?
Judge.
Oh, 1 year over 1 year?
Yes.
3 days in jail, alcohol monitoring, alcohol classes, and then MET program, 180 suspension. Yes, sir, Mr. Lopez?
Judge, what we're requesting is a time served judge. He has been in custody 12 days from his arrest. Your Honor, he does have an ICE hold. He's actually currently held in Jim Hogg County, just showing how packed the jails are, Judge. So he'll remain in the federal court system and custody, Judge. So we're asking for a time served of 12 days.
13 days.
But he's done 13 days, I believe, right? I believe it's 13 days. But he's got an ice hold, right?
That's correct. Judge.
All right, because of the time in jail and ice hold, we'll do the 0 fine, 0 court costs. 13 days in jail, credit for 13, it'll be a time served.
Francisco, en vez de que el juez te ponga en libertad condicional, te va a dar tiempo servido, te va a dar crédito por 13 días que ya ha servido, crédito por 13. Con esto se cumple la sentencia y se cierra este caso.
Okay.
¿Ok?
All right, you're
Suerte.
excused. Thank you, sir.
Gracias.
Thank you. Mr. Lopez, do you have another one? Is that it?
That's all I have, Judge.
All right, you're excused. Have a good day, sir.
Thank
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Ms. Mendoza has Ricardo Hernandez, number 17.
Number 17, Ricardo Hernandez.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. You have Ricardo Hernandez,
That is correct.
CR 2207-865D. Will you need interpreting? Does he need interpreting?
Oh, Your Honor.
No, I don't think so. No, he doesn't, right? Okay.
Only one case?
Yeah, it'll be a plea, man.
That is correct, Your Honor, for the court.
And only one case?
Yes, Your Honor.
You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down, CR 2207-865D, Ricardo Hernandez. Your charge, Class B misdemeanor theft. It carries a potential penalty of up to 180 days in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial, you're entitled to an appeal, and that you waived those two rights?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, sir.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation when you give a plea? You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. And how do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
All right. State.
State offers plea documents and offense reports as State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures as State's Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk and needs assessment as State's Exhibit 4. The state also requests that defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. The state further requests that defense counsel stipulate that all evidence which has been e-filed is sufficient to corroborate State's plea of guilty.
Your Honor, there's no objection to the exhibits and we so stipulate.
Without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged. And a recommendation, state?
The state's recommendation is a $100 fine, court costs 11 days in Hidalgo County Jail with credit for 11 days.
All right. Court will hereby waive the fine and court costs. It'll be 11 days for 11. It'll be a time served. That'll do it, sir. You're free to go. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, this concludes my business before this honorable court. May I be excused?
You're excused. Thank you, ma'am. Have a
You
good
all
day.
have a great afternoon and you all stay safe.
All right. You too, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
What's your name?
Mr. John Rodriguez has number 19 and 20, Eleuterio Covarrubias.
Eleuterio Covarrubias. All right. He's got a felony pending, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor. So we're present ready for arraignment on the 2 misdemeanors.
It's coming out of the same transaction?
Yes, Judge, a lot of.
Okay. So then it'll be, do you have a date for the felony?
No, Judge, it's still in pre-indictment phase, so there's no indictment or no case.
Okay. So then on these two cases, let's see here. CR 2207-880D, CR 2207-881D, State versus Eleuterio Covarrubias. Each case is a Class A misdemeanor, which carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. So for each case, it's a plea of not guilty today, sir?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, court will enter a not guilty plea for both cases and will give you a pretrial date.
What's the felony charge?
Oh, yeah. What is the felony charge by any chance?
The felony charge is unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, Your Honor.
That's right.
What's the bond he has?
Okay, and the bond on the other charge, what is it on the felony?
a 20,000 cash surety, Judge.
It's 20,000 cash surety. So I think on this one, we can give him PR bonds, right? Oh, no, one is an assault. One cannot be a PR bond, right? So we can give
Yeah,
him
and I'm
bonds on
not
this one.
sure when those are gonna come.
You froze there, Mr.
I'm sorry,
Rodriguez. I didn't hear you.
You're freezing, John.
You're freezing, so I cannot.
How's that, Judge?
Okay, better.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
With respect to bonds, what were you saying on this one?
Judge, as far as the bonds are concerned, on these, my client has not been able to make bonds on the felony. The only thing my concern would be, I'm not sure what they're going to be offering on the felony, and he cannot make the 20,000 on the felony, as far as I know right now. We did submit a motion to reduce bond on that one, hoping that they'll come down to maybe a PR bond there, but we're not sure. If Your Honor would consider PR bonds in these cases, we're willing to entertain those as well.
Well, like on this case, is we can do for the first one on the criminal mischief, we can do a 1,000 PR bond.
Okay,
And the second one, because it's an assault case, that can be a 1,000 cash surety.
that would work, Judge. That would allow me to go up to
Sure.
the felony court, see if I can get him something there as well.
Okay, you tell him you got this to reduce here.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
I think he has an ice hole.
It's got
Does he
a
have an
nice
ice
one?
hole?
Does he have a nice one?
I didn't see one, Judge. He may though.
He does, Judge.
Yes, sir.
He does?
Yes, Judge.
Yeah.
Well, then on the other one, on the top one, we can do cash surety also.
Yeah,
right?
1,000 cash.
Okay, so then we'll change the first one to 1,000. Both of them now are 1,000 cash surety.
That'll work, Judge.
Okay, you still got a bond reduction. So bond reduction for both of them, 1,000 cash surety.
And then we said for February 2nd.
Reset February the 2nd, 9 a.m. February the 2nd, 9 a.m. for pretrial. And of course, if you get the other matters taken care of, let the court know. We'll bump it up. Okay, sir.
Not a problem, Judge. I will advise the court ASAP.
All right, you're excused. Have a good day. Thank you.
I believe I had one.
You got another one?
I believe I did. I'm not sure if I got taken off the address. That was Claudio Gomez.
I don't think we see another one. That'll do it then.
No, he bonded out already anyway,
Okay.
Judge, so that'll be good for me.
Okay, that'll do it. Thank you. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Have a
Yes,
great
sir.
day.
Bye. Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Miss
Diana Martinez.
Morales Martinez, she has number 22, Roberto Rodriguez.
Roberto Israel Rodriguez. What is going to happen on that one? Penalty pending?
Yes, Judge, there's a felony pending.
Penalty pending, burglary
I
of
apologize.
building, right? Same transaction?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is there a date on the thing?
Do you have a date by any chance on the felony, Ms. Martinez?
No, Judge, I do not.
He has not been indicted?
No.
Not indicted? Okay. You want to do a bond reduction, this one?
Judge, that would assist in him, trying to get out. I have him on a total of 10,000. He has 7,000, I believe, on the burglary of a building and 3,000 on the burglary of vehicles.
1,000 cash.
But,
Yeah, we can reduce this to 1,000 cash surety.
okay,
1,000 cash surety on this one, not guilty plea on the arraignment, 1,000 cash surety on CR 22-07940D, Roberto Rodriguez, and a PT date pretrial, February 2nd, 9 o'clock. February 2nd, 9 o'clock. Yeah, 2023. If you happen to get the other matter settled before, let us know. We'll bump it up, ma'am.
okay, I will do so, Judge.
Okay, so 1,000 cash surety on this one.
Thank you, Judge, appreciate it.
All right, that'll do it, Mr. Rodriguez. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I have nothing further. May I be excused?
You may be excused.
I would like to talk to you, miss.
I'll be right there.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye.
Juan Alvarez, the same thing. Omar Huerta.
Is he here? Juan Alvarez?
Connecting.
Oh, okay, Juan Alvarez connecting.
Announcement, felonies pending.
All three
I
cases?
don't know if they're out of the same transaction.
All right, Omar Alejandro Huerta. And yes, sir, Mr. Alvarez. Oh no, he needs to unmute. Mr. Alvarez needs to unmute.
Hello, yes, Judge.
Yes, sir, Mr. Alvarez. Your client is Omar Huerta.
Okay.
He's got 3 cases, but he's got felony spending.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are these cases related to the felony cases?
Judge, I want to say they are. Let me see. He has, my notes indicate that he has not been indicted for these charges, and I think they are out of the same transaction. These are tampering with identification. Yeah. Well, I don't know, Judge, because what he has on the felony is a published threat to publish intimate visual material and an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So quite possibly, Judge, they might be out of the same transaction. They might have the same set of facts.
Judge, there are 4
So-
felonies pending out of the same transaction with a total bond of 95,000 cash surety.
Okay, on
So-
the felonies, it's 95,000 cash surety on all of them?
Yes, on the felonies, Judge.
Okay. So what do we do with this one? You want a bond reduction on these 3 cases, Mr. Alvarez?
If the court will entertain a bond reduction, then I can follow on the felonies?
Yes. What do we do in this one here? You want to do
Do a writ.
1,000? I think on all of them, we can do 1,000 cash surety.
That's perfectly fine, Judge. And
All
and
of
it's-
them,
and it help-
I'll
and
put
it-
here 1,000 cash surety.
and it'll help alleviate some of the crowding problem at the sheriff's department.
And we're here on CR 2207, 953D, 954D, 955D, all of them, State of Texas versus Omar Huerta. And each of them will be now 1,000 cash surety. Okay?
February 2nd.
Pre-trial date, Mr. Alvarez, February the 2nd?
Yes, Your Honor.
February the
If I
2nd
get,
of next.
if I
next-
work it out sooner, I'll contact the court.
Absolutely, you got it right. For right now, for the record, February the 2nd at 9 o'clock for pretrial on all of them. You do it
That's right.
earlier, let us know, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, you may be excused, Mr. Huerta.
Thank you, Judge. Be safe.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
That's all for
Ready
me.
for right now? Thank
Maybe
you,
excuse-
Jill.
Thank you.
That'll do it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.